Hello everybody, welcome to another video. This time we're having a look at a new product. This is the Deraat, that's the brand, and the model is the DRS Vega, and it's the derivative size 10E. If you'd like one of these or any other safe, and you're anywhere in the UK mainland, we'll ship it to you with no extra charge. Just head over to londonsafes.co.uk, and if you are in our service area, which is London and the home counties essentially, then delivery and installation, professional installation, will be free. You won't pay any more. I'm often asked, will it be cheaper than if we're just shipping it out? No, I'm afraid not. The price is the same because we subsidise the installation service. As you can see from the brochure, this is the smallest of 6 available sizes, and it comes in the key lock in the 10K or the digital keypad battery operated the 10E that we've got here. And the dimensions of this smallest one are its height, width, depth in millimeters: 275 by 325 by 325, internal 200 by 250 by 215, 11 litre capacity, weighs 26 kilograms and has 1 shelf. Finish in this quite nice smooth anthracite grey. The keypad is a protruding type, which is different to the safes that I normally talk about, which are over here, and I'll link to the video in the top right now if you want to see these, and the keypad is actually flush on these. So I've got this safe here today. It's December 2024, because we're installing it at the request of a lovely young couple. Tomorrow we're installing it for them, who've just got engaged, and their insurance company required an S2 rated safe to be supplied and professionally installed in accordance with their specification, so that the engagement ring would be covered when the young lady wasn't actually wearing it. If I head over to the brochure, you'll see that this is the EN 14450 S2. There's S1 and S2. And this gives you cash cover £4,000. This is for insurance, or £40,000 valuables. I'm going to go ahead and open the safe up, and that's just done by entering the factory code, which is 1 through 6, which is most safes tend to be that. And you'll change that to your own personal code, obviously. Rotate the keypad to withdraw the bolts, as you see. And now you've got the safe open. And it is a very small safe. That's its certification certificate, tested and certified by LPCB, and that's EN 14450 S2. So we'll have a look at what's inside here in a minute. But what's good about it? Well, I mean, it's a fairly decent thickness of door, the plate of the door. They say it's a double-walled safe, but they don't give the dimensions for the thickness of the outer or inner wall, so I'm not quite sure about that. But the door itself, I'll measure now, and that's coming at about 6.6 millimeters for the door. If we compare that to our preferred S2 safe, because these are also S2, you've got 10.33 millimeters, which is probably 10 millimeters plus the paint. So looking inside, you've got one shelf, which can go into 2 positions. I've got it on the highest position, but I'm going to take the shelf out now so that we can see better. That's the shelf removed with its 4 little brackets, and they just sit into these little holes here. I don't know if you can see that. That's on the lowest position. So inside the safe, we don't have a carpet or anything like that, but you can add that on when you're ordering for a muss. And we've got 2 base fixing holes, and we've got 2 rear fixing holes that are reinforced, which is good. I like that. Not quite horizontal, but that's the end of the world. The safe is supplied with a quite bizarre manual that is 4 pages, is it? Or 8 pages? But they're numbered page 37, page 36, so it's obviously been taken from a manual. Deraat, if you're watching, you could do with a simplified manual for these. Comes with 2 rule bolts. These are completely wrong. They're not going to work. Too much thread on there, so we're going to throw those away. Also, the holes are a bit small. We're going to enlarge those, and we're going to use our own anchors. And it comes with 4 of these little bungs that go on there to conceal the bolt fixing once it's been bolted. Also comes with this little doobry, and that is used to open the keypad to change the batteries. And there's a little hole there, so you put it in there, push down on that, and that will release the sort of front cover of the keypad. All feels a little bit delicate, and that reveals the battery holder, which takes two AA batteries that it says it's supplied with, but they're not. In fact, if you look at the imagery from the supplier, Deraat, it shows a 9-volt battery, but they're actually two AA, so I put these in. If you buy one from us, don't worry, you'll have batteries. So I'll just close that up, tuck the battery in, and you're looking for a little click there. It doesn't feel the most robust thing in the world, I have to be honest. And I'm going on about this, but if we go over to our S2 safe, same thing, grade S2, your batteries live in this little door. There's a proper, there's a screw to remove it, and there's a proper a battery cradle there that takes 4 AA's, apart from the smallest one, which is a 9-volt. And with this one, of course, you've got keys, emergency keys. So if your battery goes flat and you haven't got a battery, or if you forget the code, or if it goes wrong, with this safe and most safes like this, you are in real trouble. You're going to need a safe engineer or a talented locksmith. With our range, you've got emergency keys. That's a keyhole. You just peel that back. I'll put a picture on the screen now. You can see the 2 keys that's supplied will enable you to get into the safe. We'll have a look at the mechanism inside. There is this label that says void if tampered or removed. That was actually like that when I opened it. I pushed it back to make this video and stuck it down, but it was like that. But I'm not going to tamper with it. I'm just going to show you. So that's interesting. I've got the cover off, and although they say it's no fire resistance, but it is double walled, so perhaps there's some fireproof wadding in there. I don't know, but there's definitely no seal on the door. But there is what appears to be fireproof wadding in the door. I don't know. I'm not going to test it, but that's what it appears to be. You can see the lock is a Class B EN 1300 lock, which is good. So I've just taken the wadding out, and that's actually quite nicely made. So you can see the mounting plate that the lock goes on, which I presume is hardened. I can't get to it, but I presume is hardened to give you some drill protection on the front. Is quite nicely made, and you've got this bracket that wraps around the lock here, and the bolt work, which was always going to be the case, is because it's such a small safe, is fixed directly onto the front end of the bolt on the lock. You can see your connector for the keypad there. I think it's going to say Insys locks, which I'm not super familiar with, but that was certainly the little doobry for opening the keypad. So I think the lock is Insys, so that'll be the lock and the keypad. The look appears to be a German company, and that looks like the lock, the combi lock. I'm going to click on that. Yeah, and there it is, and it's that is indeed the lock that's on the safe. And yeah, Class B EN 1300. Okay, just going to put all that back together now. So that's all back together. Right, so 2 bolts on this. I suspect you've probably got more bolts on the larger sizes. Yeah, well, I can see 3 on the largest one and the second largest one. So I guess it does. I don't know if there's any top and bottom bolts. These bolts do rotate, so that is an anti-saw type defense. They do lock into a welded reinforced plate here, which is good. What's not so good is the hinge. I'm not loving the hinge. We've got a very lightweight pin type hinge, very similar to what you see on the Far Eastern safes. There is some passive locking here, so as the door shuts, this plate is going to sit behind this plate to give you some passive locking, i.e. this side will be locked by virtue of just shutting the door, and then this side is locked when the bolts are thrown, the lock is thrown out and engaged into those 2 holes that I showed you. By comparison, the hinge, I'll go into the second largest one to show you. You've got a heavier duty pin sort of that runs all the rod, if you like, that runs all the way down, and it's all welded onto this reinforced plate that gives you the passive locking. Also, you've got top and bottom bolts on this size too, and you've got the reinforced receiver plates that I mentioned. On the smallest one here, you've only got the side bolts, but you have got that passive locking on the back there. And the door does shut completely flush on these because it's cut from one solid sheet of steel with a laser, so there's very little gap. You can't get anything in, any tooling to try and jam it open. And if we go back to this one, you can see that you have got some entry points for tooling. Doesn't mean you'll get it open, but you know, it's just comparing the two. And to finish it off, here's the safe actually fitted inside of the base of a fitted wardrobe. It's sitting on the raised plinth. We've screwed it to the plinth, which is just an additional fixing. There's just some wood screws into the plinth. And through that back panel, we've drilled through, and behind there was a very, very small void, about 3/4 of an inch. And then there was a brick wall behind. So we drilled through into the brick wall, and it's bolted very, very firmly to that brick wall. So that gives you an idea on the sort of installation that we do. That's an ideal spot if you've got somewhere like that. Otherwise, we could work with whatever you've got. But just to let you know how this one turned out, the customer was very happy. Thank you for watching. That's us, London and Home County Safes on londonsafes.co.uk. Please get in touch. We are rated 5 stars on Trustpilot with over 300 5-star reviews, nearly 100 Google 5-star reviews now. Now I'll link to our most popular video and our most popular range of safes if you would like to have a look at that. And please do consider subscribing and liking this video. It does help us get our videos noticed. Thanks for watching.